Hello, 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 hello. It is Thursday. It is Thursday, and today we have the last day for this week, the last stream for this week. And let's end it on a good note. Well, what we're gonna do is what we've done for the last 4 days, or 3 days rather. And that is we will finish, well, hopefully maybe finish the weapon that we've been working on for this week, basically. We finished the character last week that we worked on, or that we're currently working on. Now it was time to model the weapon. We've done that over the last few days. We first of all created the it's a scythe, so we created the blade and the body, I guess, and then now we're basically in the process of adding more layers on top of the, I guess, base layer to give it some more detail, give it some more, some more, I guess you could say, make it look more interesting by adding some layers, basically. Some more, make it more dynamic and give it a more of a style rather than just like this plain weapon, I guess, model. Yeah, we're in the process of doing that, and today will be the last day that we're going to do that, because next week we're going to go to the next step, which would be, well, really the only, well, yeah, the next step would be creating, I guess, the companion wraith for our character. And then we basically have everything that we need, except for the base. I wanted to sort of give the base a little bit of, create an environment for the base as well, so that the characters actually, placed in some sort of environment. That was the idea. That's what we're going to follow afterwards. Next week we're going to start with the wraith, and today we will have the last stream where we will model and create the weapon. So I don't want to waste any time. I want to have as much time as possible. As you can see right here, we have 2 topics, of course, as always. There's the weapon topic, and then we have another one, which is the daily 30-minute quick sketch, which we will start with. So if you're here for the weapon, there should be timestamps in the description and also in the timeline, so you can skip right to where we create the weapon. Yeah, that's all there's to say. Let's go to Blender, and we can look at what today's reference is. Look at him. That's today's reference. I've seen him before, in my Pinterest board, I guess. And today we're gonna sculpt him. This demon-like character with this super long hair, or this mane, you could say. I thought that was really, really cool. I wanted to give this a shot. Welcome back, Zachary. Hope you have enjoyed your Thursday, and hopefully you are excited for the weekend. Maybe you have something planned, maybe not. Yeah, that's what we're gonna sculpt today. Pretty, it's not super complex, but I think it's still a cool character, especially because of this huge, bunch of hair there in the back. Let me just quickly check if everything's ready. Everything's ready. Okay. Can't go without leaving a... Oh, true. If you like, then you like. If you don't, then you dislike. That's the rule. Okay. So, yeah, we're gonna begin with the with this, and then we're gonna go back to the weapon, and hopefully maybe even finish the weapon. The last few days, well, the last 2 days, setting up the shapes didn't really take too long, but just because there were just like quite a few, it takes a little bit to, create the geometry for all of them. There are just a few left, so it might be a little bit simpler today, because we've only almost finished all the pieces that sort of shape, or that are the main shapes, and then we can basically duplicate the ones that are still missing, because they sort of have the same shape as the other pieces that we already sculpted. So that'll be, at least, hopefully that'll make it a little bit easier. But yeah, let's not talk about that. Let's create the demon first. Okay. I think everything's ready to begin. So let's begin the 30-minute quick sketch in 3, 2, 1, go. Perfect. Okay. Let's go. So, usually, or as per usual, so I thought about either going for a similar style. Oh, hello. That's nice. I thought about doing a similar style to the reference in this more comic style, not really 100% realistic, or going for something more realistic. I think I'm gonna stick with what you can see here in the reference. I think that's actually a pretty cool sort of look, so I kind of want to keep it. And yeah, that's gonna be the goal here, trying to recreate what we can see in the image. I'm excited for next week because that'll be, or the next 2 weeks, because I have my vacation, so I can you know, do some more stuff than what I can usually do, I guess, you know, for videos or stream, just because well, there's only so much time in a day. So I can't really do as much as I would like, and you know, vacation is perfect to kind of catch up on all that stuff. Okay, let's begin. Yeah, so I'm excited to get into that. I think I've taken like one vacation, like a week or so this year. So there's definitely still some, you know, there's a lot that I actually still need to take. I think I still have some from last year. Maybe I use it with these days now, with these 2 weeks. Maybe I still have some I need to check. But yeah, there's still, I guess, more I need to take. Otherwise, I just lose them, which I'm not gonna let happen. So at some point I need to take those as well. Okay, these eyes look quite big right now. There you go, just gonna shape them a little bit more. Yeah, I think they're also a little bit too low right now. I mean, too high. They seem to be pretty high. I don't know why, but I always place the cheekbones pretty high on the face. I think this face is more like a rectangle. So we can place everything a little bit closer together. And we can also probably pull the cheekbones down a little bit. That's better. Yeah. So it fits a little bit more to the reference. Not too big, the nose. Perfect. And then we have the mouth. Let's see, the mouth is actually pretty simple, or pretty simple, we could say. I'm gonna place it here first, just like a, you know, sort of reference where it's gonna be placed, and then we can go from there. Let's shape the head a little bit more. Yeah, so it's always like, if I don't have, you know, usually from time to time I always get like new ideas or new things that I want to try or do, but usually I don't really get to do that, so they just pile up, and then usually every sort of, you know, when I take time off, I can finally do all these things, which is you know, even better, because then you not only know that you have nothing, well, that you can do whatever you want, but you actually have something that you want to do. So you can not only look forward to not having to do what you usually do, but also looking forward to finally getting to what you wanted to do for a long time, which is even better, I think. I want to give him like a very, very significant chin, so I'm just gonna pull it out a little bit. Nice and pointy. That's maybe a little bit too much. That's pretty good. Just like a small hook right there. Okay. Are we gonna pull the lips a little bit higher, or the mouth? So the chin is a little bit longer. I think that's better. And there you go. The eyes look kind of weird right now, just because there are no eyes right now. Well, that's okay. Let's see. Yeah, and I think we're finally sort of, I kind of see the end for this, you know, this sort of character that we've been working on for quite a while. Welcome back, Hustler. Hope you've enjoyed your morning shower. Are you somebody that showers in the morning or in the evening? I've done both. I think I prefer in the morning because then, you know, you just feel more refreshed, I guess, and start in the day a little bit, you know, fresher instead of showering in the evening. You know, you feel fresh, I guess, when you go to sleep, but that sort of, you know, doesn't really matter because you sleep anyway, so you can't really, I guess, use that feeling, or you can't really enjoy it because you don't feel it. That's why I prefer to shower in the evening. And it's also just like, usually in the evening, you are like, you can do whatever you want. So it's like the time where you can do, you know, you can find out, kind of decide what you want to do, and kind of breaking that up because you want to shower, which doesn't take too long, but still, it's, you know, a little bit of time investment. It's kind of annoying for me. Evening is better. You get to sleep clean, smelling nice and comfy. Yeah, I think that's probably one positive, that you that it's easier to sleep because you're so warmed up, and then you're just even more cozy, or it's gonna be even more cozy when you get to sleep. Yeah, that's probably one thing that's a positive. But I'm not really somebody that has trouble sleeping, so you know, I don't really get, I guess, I don't really have a long period where I kind of sort of, you know, sit around and wait until I'm until I'm sleeping. My dad is even crazier about that. Sometimes he just, you know, lies down, just instantly just sleeps, which is crazy. Not that fast for me, but it's definitely, I have like one or two certain positions that I can position myself in, and then I just immediately fall asleep. Takes me almost 3 hours. I can't really believe that when somebody says like it takes them more than, I don't know, 15 minutes. I don't really understand how that can work. Like, do you have to go to, I mean, do you have to plan ahead 3 hours? Do you basically have to, you know, go to, if you want to get 8 hours of sleep, do you have to, you know, when you want to wake up at like 7, do you have to go to sleep at like, what would be like, you want to get 7 hours of sleep, like at like 9 o'clock, or how does that work? That's always weird to me. I had like a mate that had the same. He said it takes ages for him to go like to actually fall asleep, but I never really understood that really well. What I want to say with that is, you're weird, okay? You know, do you just sit around and just, you know, do nothing? I mean, I had days where it's just like, you know, you just lie there and you just can't seem to fall asleep because you think about stuff or whatever. But it's never really that insane. I usually go to bed at 10 and fall asleep at 12. Wow. But what do you do in that time? Like, for me, it's the goal is to just shut off my, you know, to just quiet my brain and just, you know, do it as long as I need to fall asleep. Do you just think about stuff the whole time, or how does it work? My body is very active in the evening, so I become restless and my body refuses to sleep. Well, I'm also somebody that gets more active, or that is more active when it's late. But it's not like, wouldn't it be your internal clock if you work and you have to wake up early, that you would be sort of well, not necessarily. I don't know. You're still weird, okay? You can't talk yourself out of it. 3 hours. Like, What do you do in that time? 3 hours of just trying to get to sleep. It sounds pretty crazy. You know how much time that is every day. I wonder if there's like a solution for that. Oh, probably, but you know. Stuff's just broken. I mean, there has to be a solution for it. Is that like annoying for you that you have to wake up or that you have to go to sleep that early? Or, I mean, I can imagine so, but maybe that's just normal now. You watch stuff and then, well, do you watch stuff as you want to fall asleep? Because I could never do that. Well, maybe if it's like maybe if it's the weekend, because then sometimes I just, you know, lie in bed and just watch like a few more videos until I basically automatically fall asleep. But it's never really like, I'm not really that tired in like weekdays that I could actually just watch a video and not get distracted, or it being too loud for me to not to not wake or, you know, stay awake. You get used to it. So do you basically have to, you know, watch some stuff now to fall asleep, or? Watch stuff waiting for my body to fall asleep. I know exaggeration. Watched Futurama at least 15 times. I mean, it kind of sounds like how I sometimes like probably like last like maybe 1 or 2 years ago, how I went to sleep just watching some videos on like in my bed, and then at some point your eyes just, you know, the eyes get heavy and you just fall asleep, and then you wake up shortly afterwards and just see, oh, I fell asleep, so I think it's time to sleep, you know. That's kind of what it sounds like, but I don't know. I just lie down, have my perfect lying, you know, position, resting position or whatever, and then, you know, just think about nothing, and then usually you just have to wait until it works. It's kind of, yeah, I guess that's similar to some people can, or some people have, what are they called? Lucid dreams, and some people don't. And it's kind of hard to imagine what lucid dreams are like if you never had them, like me. For example, I never had one. And I heard like multiple people now that have them basically every day, or maybe, you know, regularly. And I'm like, wait, what? How do you do that? It's a time skip. Oh, okay, so you actually fall asleep like completely and you don't really wake up anymore? That's weird. Let's give him a different nose than what I had before. I don't want to make it too long. I want to give him like a short nose like this. I think that'll look better. It's closer to what we have here in the reference. Oh wow, that's the lip. That's a little bit too far out. Let me pull it back in. There you go. Okay. The place I live at is extremely small. The washing machine is near my bed. You can wash clothes and I would still sleep. I go to sleep with a delay, but when I sleep, I have to set at least 3 to 4 alarms to wake up. Okay. Well, do you just not hear it, or do you hear it and then turn it off and then go to sleep again, or do you just absolutely just, you know, you don't recognize, or you just don't hear it? Like what you know what? It doesn't really, you know, if you don't hear the first one, why would you hear the last one? You know, doesn't really. It's not like it's stacking, like it's a stacking buff that gets stronger and stronger. It's more like a, well, maybe at a certain time you just are more prone to hearing your alarm. "40 minutes, already way too late. Oh no." Okay. I just zone out, kind of learn the sounds I have to put in the background and ignore it. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of, you know, things like those, like things like these sort of can very easily sort of is that really something you can really do much about? Well, maybe, but they're like things that you actually have to actively do something to solve. And you know, I'm kind of glad that I don't have those. Because I can imagine it can be quite annoying. Imagine having, well, yeah, you know, 3 hours just to get to sleep. Kind of, well, yeah, I mean, if you, as you said, if you at least can, you know, listen to some stuff, then it's just not just you waiting for 3 hours to fall asleep, you know, but it still sounds pretty crazy to me. I think the worst would be sleeping or not having trouble to sleep, but then not getting like good sleep. I think that would be the worst. You know, you go to sleep when you're supposed to or when you need to, but then you actually don't get enough sleep for some reason, for whatever reason. I think that would be the worst. You can't really do much about that. You know, just have to, I guess, if you really want to solve it, just do trial and error and see what works. If there's anything that you know can solve it. There's probably something that causes it, but you know, till you find that, could be years. That would probably be the most annoying sort of thing that could happen. Oh wait, he actually has ears. Okay. Let's see. I don't like his face that much, but I don't know if we can really do too much about it. Well, we can probably give him some more structure here. That's one thing we can do. Okay. Let's see. So let's go to here. Just kind of lay out the structure a little bit more, and then we can go to the face again. I think the face needs some more work. Right now it kind of looks weird. We also need to add all the features that makes up the character. haven't really done that now. I haven't really done that yet. There you go. Hyperactive at night, but also during teenage years I used to game during the night. When in-game events ran on the US time zone. Oh no, that was the worst. I wanted to participate at dailies, I had to be up at 2, 3 a.m. Yeah. I don't like this. I need to pull it back. There you go. That's better. Still too far forward. Okay. I have been pretty good. Well, you know, of course, before I go, have some, 2 weeks of no work. I need to do overtime for whatever reason. The universe tries to punish me for taking time off. There's just some stuff that needs to be done before, I guess, the end of this week. And, that's what I'm supposed to do. And, sometimes it just be like that. And that's, well, I don't really necessarily think overtime is like bad. It's always annoying, but it's not really bad because you sort of you can take that time off at some other point. You can go earlier or whatever. So it's not really that you just lose time, but sometimes it's more like you have something planned and then you have to, you can't really do that anymore because you have to work even longer, and it's like, wow. Why? For example, I wanted to edit the video throughout this week, but because I couldn't work on it for the last 2 days, it's like, now I have to do it on Friday. It's not that much more left, but it's, if you plan on working on it for 3 days and then you can only work on it for 1 day, it's like, why? Why? Do you at least get paid for overtime? Well, we don't get paid, but we have like we can, for example, it's like a if you work longer, you can then, for example, go earlier. For example, that's what we can do. So it's not like, for example, usually I guess. Oh my God, we're so late. Hold on, need to work a little bit quicker here. Some jobs have it so that if you work overtime, you get more money for it. You get more money per hour. But for us, it's more, well, if you worked for 8 hours yesterday, you can only work 7 hours today, for example. That's sort of how we do it. Sometimes, overtime is not really it's sort of maybe not inevitable, but sometimes, for some reason, the client just said, "Oh, we forgot this. Can you do this real quick in today? We need it today, please." Well, they don't even say please. They just, "Hey, we need this. Hey, how you been? How about you do this for us?" And then, of course, well, I guess I have to work longer today because of you. Sometimes it's not just, it's not just because of the client, but I don't know. There's some internal stuff that needs to be, done, or I don't know. There are so many factors, but it's always annoying. You have to work overtime. Okay, this dude will look horrendous. He looks like an ogre. I think his jawline is too defined. Four minutes. Well, let's go to his hair. I love to work an extra hour each day so I can like have like 1 or 2 extra free days per month. Yeah. You could do that, but I prefer just to work like constantly the same amount. I don't know, that's just easier for me. Have a certain routine, and I just like to be done after 8 hours. I always like having more time or having like overtime, you know, hours, but I don't like, you know, doing them. I like spending them, but not doing them. So I don't really, you know, just say, well, I'm gonna work 10 hours today or this week, so I have, you know, a free day next week. And it doesn't really necessarily work that way either for us, because, you know, there are certain, you know, sometimes, you know, you have certain projects where every day the client could, you know, come around and have new, like a new update, or he needs it to be done for, you know, that day or whatever. So you can't really predict what's gonna happen that day necessarily. Usually you can, but sometimes it's like a, you know, it's always like a random with some projects, which is kind of annoying. But you know, the annoying factor is most of the time just that you can't really plan for anything. Sometimes you just sit there and, you know, you have nothing, and then one day later maybe a colleague is sick, or you know, there's just another client that came up and wanted to make a new project, and then all of a sudden you need to you need to you know, you just see how you can get it done in time. Okay, more hair. 1 minute. Nice. Almost no time for anything. Okay, let's do a little bit of structure here, just to, you know, spice it up a little bit. I really like this new hair technique. Really makes it actually look like hair instead of just like this blob. Even if it's just like a very, very simple, just, you know, pulling and stretching it out, it still kind of looks like hair, or at least more than what it did before. Okay. Time for the horns. There you go. Let's pull them outwards a little bit. Okay. Okay, can we really do much more in 17 seconds? No. Not really. We can give him a tongue. There you go. Maybe some sort of braid here. I mean, some sort of chain. Give him something. Okay. There you go. I want more free days because my job has nothing to do with my hobby, so I need time for the hobbies. Kind of hard to get in a sculpting mood after having to deal with customers in retail. Yeah. I can see that. I always hated retail, so I, you know, well, I've never really worked a retail job, but I've had like, we had these, in school we had this week, I think it was a week. No, we had one sort of similar sort of project. One was where you were at a job. I think that's when we were like in like 7th grade or so. We had these future days, I think they were called, where you could, you know, you would go to a certain, I think you would choose a job that you would, you know, just work at, or, you know, learn what it's about in 2 days, and then you would just go back to work, I mean to school. And then afterwards, I think in 10th grade or so, we had another one of these projects where we would we would get a certain job where we would work at for a week, I think, or 2. And then I think we had like 3 jobs like that, you know, just to kind of learn what sort of jobs you know, what sort of jobs are out there, and, you know, maybe find the one that we like. And I had one that was basically working at a sort of, not building shop, like a, you know, a shop where you can buy, you know, stuff for your kitchen, or for your, like a kitchen sink and all that stuff. Like, oops, sorry. Stuff like that. And I wasn't really working in, like, as a sort of, you know, seller or whatever, or not seller, but I was usually just, you know, putting products in the aisles, and just, you know, I wasn't really doing anything there. Well, we were, you know, just, I guess, receiving all the new packages and putting them in place and stuff like that. But yeah, I couldn't really see myself being a retail person, like a what do you call these people that are just, you know, sitting at the dude, I can't speak today, hold on. At the cash register. Clerk? No. I don't know. Yeah, stuff like that. I don't really, you know, I don't really know if there's anybody that really likes to do that necessarily, or if that's more like a transitional job that you can do to, you know, that you can do until you find something that suits you more. Maybe people like it, but, you know, it's such a, well, I guess, you know, for me, I can't really see me liking it, because it's such a simple job that you can't really get better at, you know. Maybe, you know, there's a certain, I guess, you know, there's probably a skill at, but, you know, I don't know, sitting at a cash register and, I don't know, putting all the items, you know, pushing them over the what are that, like the scanner, so the scanner can pick them all up. But yeah, the cashier, exactly. I don't think that is really a job that is interesting at all. It's not really something that you don't really learn much doing it. You don't really challenge. There's not really a challenge for it, and it's a you don't really learn any skills that can help you in the future. So it's like, it's just like a job that you do, so you do something, I think. I don't really know if there's anything else to it. Maybe I'm, you know, maybe I just got it all wrong. Maybe there's something, you know, maybe I just don't really know what the job is actually about. Okay, this dude is very, very rough, but sometimes that's just how it is. At least we get commissions from sales and the money can help, but I absolutely quit the shop making less than the minimum wage if I could do something I love. Yeah. That's definitely something I can support. Well, not, you know, I would probably do that as well. Okay. Where's my light? There. Dude, why is there another light? Oh, I know why. And then, oh my god. Okay, hold on. Because I already have a light collection in here. Every time I append the light collection from last time, it just renames the light collection that I append into light 001. And if I don't delete the already existing one and rename it, it'll always go higher and higher and higher, and which is like so annoying because, you know, so now I have to always delete the number behind to make it, I guess, easily accessible. Dude. Okay. That's a very bright light. Why are you so bright? What are you doing? Let's see. Probably 500 is enough. Yeah. That's definitely enough. Let's bring down the light, the global light. Yeah. I'm actually excited to see what we'll have today in the end. How far we'll get with the weapon. Because you know, first of all, just to kind of see the end result, and you know, if we can actually finish it, then I don't really need to work on it more over the weekend, because I have other stuff that I want to do over the weekend, you know, that I can spend some more time on then, because I actually want to finish the, I guess, Blender brush explanation video for next week, which, you know, the more time I have, the better it is. Oh, wow. Oh, and it's so bright. Actually, I think that's okay. Maybe if we make it smaller, we can, or dimmer. Kind of, actually, let's keep it at 1000. Maybe a rim light could help in this situation. Yeah, I think that's what's missing here. No, it actually doesn't help. It looks even worse. Oh no. Why? No, it just kind of washes out the color. It's kind of harsh right now, the light. But the problem is horns are always so annoying to light because they always block the light with it. Whether it comes from the top or from the bottom. It is always sort of annoying to light with horns. Maybe there. I mean, probably the sculpt is also just bad because I choked. I wasted so much time. Maybe I should call it Trash Demon. Hope you have at least decent sculpting in the future with how cheap stuff and how low the wages are in my country. Making one sculpting commission could pay for my needs for a month. I mean, you know, from the first time you've submitted a piece to the feedback session to the last time, you know, you can see some significant improvements. So I don't see why you wouldn't be in, you know, just compare the first one to the last one and then think further ahead, like, I don't know, 3 to 4 or 5 months later. What it would look then. What it would look like then. Okay, I think that's what we're gonna end it here. It's not good, but it's all that it's not good, but it's honest work, okay? There you go. The meme for the day. No more memes today, okay? Memes are over. I don't want to oversaturate the stream with memes. Okay. I don't know why, but every time I take time off, it's like up until 1 or 2 days before, everything feels normal, of course. And then, well, so like, I don't really think about vacation, like taking vacation at all. But then at some point it just springs into my mind. Like somebody asked me, hey, have you taken any vacation days already? Or, you know, my parents asked me like, wait, did you take any days off the last, I don't know, half a year or so? And I'm like, no. I don't really think about that at all. So, you know, it's not like, I think I'm a very routine oriented person. So once I kind of have a routine, I don't really like sort of going and doing something else. Or, you know, breaking that routine. Even if it's a routine that I don't necessarily like. Not like that I hate working, but it's, you know, it's different to just doing whatever you want with your time. There you go. Okay. Slowly improving, but I think I need at least 1 more year to be somewhat decent. Means you like your job? Yeah. But even when I was still in my apprenticeship time, when I still had my apprenticeship, and I had like a time where I wasn't really happy, even then I just didn't even think about it. It was, you know, just not something I really think about at all. It's just, you know, it's just, it just piles up more and more and more. And then at some point, I see that I still need to take, you know, my time until it runs out, I guess. Okay, this looks horrible, but that's just how it is. Sometimes you do something good, sometimes you do something bad. And this one is definitely down below in the tier list of quick sketches. Quick sketch day 242. Okay. But every time I take like days off, I'm always sort of glad or I'm happy. So, you know, I don't think about it, but once I do take them, I'm kind of, you know, happy. And I still have, I think last time I checked, I still have time that I still have days that I need to take from last year, which could be these 2 weeks. But last time I checked, I had like 6 weeks left, so I still need, if I wanted to take all the days that I have this year, if I wanted to take all of them, I would have to, you know, still use up 6, well, now probably 4 weeks of vacation just to get rid of all of them, which would probably not happen because I don't know. Usually, I don't really take time off like in a close amount, like in a close, in a short time span, like twice. I usually just, you know, it's a long time, then I take some time off, and then it's a long time. Usually, I always just take just 1 week. I'm not really 2 weeks, but because I have so much, I now just said, well, why not, you know? Okay. Just like taking a bath, you dread going in, but once you're in there, you feel like not going out. Well, do you dread going into the, like, taking a bath? Isn't that the great part about, like, don't you know that it's great, like, lying in there and just, you know, enjoying the warmth? I don't know. For me, it was always fun, or, like, enjoyable. I haven't really taken any baths for a long time. Back in the day when I was at my grandparents', I would, you know, take baths. Because we have a bathtub, but we don't really use it. So it's, you know, not really something I do. And I don't really like, taking a bath, because just like, watching a movie, I could do something else that would be more exciting in that time, you know? I could either relax in a bathtub and, I don't know, you know, maybe watch a movie, watch YouTube videos, or I could just, you know, play video games instead. I don't really like chilling, you know? Sometimes people, you know, invite you to just chill, you know, with them. I don't really like that much. I always want to do something. Not really because I'm like hyperactive. I always need to do some stuff, but it just feels pointless at the time if you just don't do anything. You just sit there, especially like, what are they called? Like smoking. It's called shisha, at least here in Germany. I don't know, it's the same. I guess it's just a name, but like water pipe, you could say. Smoking that, I don't do it, but you know, others do it. And then they invited me to just, you know, hang out and I guess chat. I don't know, it's not really something I enjoy too much. Just sitting there and talking about stuff. I enjoy talking about stuff, but I don't really enjoy just sitting around doing nothing. But I take bath in the evening, and before going in, I always find something else to do, and I postpone it, thinking it's waste of time till you go in. Yeah, I think we call it nargilea, some kind of a bong. Yeah, it's this sort of, you know, this bong type shape, and then at the top you have this sort of this head part where there's a little bit of I don't know, stuff in it, similar to tobacco, but I guess more moist and with more flavor, like, you know, fruity flavor or whatever. And then because I think because there's like coal underneath, it gets heated up, and it, you know, you smoke that through the water, and that way it gets, I guess, it becomes smoke. Similar to a vape, I guess. Just like in a XSL format. Opium. Yeah, a Turkish bong. Yeah. Okay. Okay. It is time to upload the image, and then we're gonna go back to... Oh, wait. We didn't even drink anything. Well, it's not time yet. We're gonna... Actually, is it? No. Okay, we're gonna do that when the timer hits, okay? Okay, let me upload this abomination, and then we're gonna continue working on this weapon. Hopefully we can finish it today. That'll be the goal. We'll see how far we can get. Yeah. So I'll see you in 3 minutes, and then we're gonna get into this. I'll see you in 3 minutes. We're back. So I checked. I don't know. So I thought, you know, usually I don't really check DMs anywhere, and I just decided to do it real quick. Usually on Instagram, you don't really get a notification that somebody sent you a DM until you, I guess, accepted their DM, which is weird. But somebody sent me a DM saying, please can you assist with this design? Really on a tight deadline, having been let down by 2 artists. Can you recommend or take on this short notice design project? Otherwise, please share or recommend to any student 3D rendering artist. Regards, Hazel, whatever. 3 weeks ago. So that's been overdue probably. But yeah, that's one of them. And then hold on. Another question about how you would begin sculpting. I don't remember if I've ever done a beginner sculpting tutorial. I don't think so. I've done 2 for modeling, but not like a walkthrough tutorial for beginners with where you can learn how to sculpt. The hard part about doing beginner tutorials is always trying to think what people think that know less than you, because you can't really you can't really remove that knowledge that you have. Sometimes some of that stuff is just like some of that stuff is so ingrained that you don't really realize that you know something that other people don't know, and then it gets kind of hard to think how people think that don't know what you know. And that's kind of weird. Did you compose the music for the intro? No. The two were just YouTube, what is it? YouTube Music Library songs. So you can use them for free on YouTube without any, what is it? Any, you don't have to name the artist or anything. You can just use them for free, copyright free on YouTube. There isn't really a beginning to sculpting, you just kind of do it. I guess the beginning would be learning the brushes program. Yeah, it's similar to anything. How I always approach learning anything new is I learn everything that I need to start just doing on my own, basically. So if I wanted to learn how to do a backflip, I would learn how to, first of all, how to do it. And then I would just, do it more and more to improve. Backflip is probably a bad idea or a bad example. Maybe, what else would there be? Like I don't know. I think I had something before. Well, how I probably began learning Blender. The first approach was pretty bad. That was like, I think the first time I tried learning Blender was like when I was, maybe like 2 or 3 years before I actually learned how Blender works. When I really got into it. Before that, I tried it before. My mom, I think, saw some sort of magazine like article about it and said like, hey, this looks interesting, don't you think so? You like game design. Isn't that something cool? And then I looked into it, and back then the approach that I took was basically how I learned Photoshop, how I learned using Photoshop. I think Photoshop is even more intuitive than Blender. In that you basically, it's pretty intuitive in my opinion, because you have a brush. What does the brush do? Probably everybody has used like I don't know, drawing tools before. So Photoshop, getting into Photoshop, especially if you want to do 2D art, is pretty intuitive in my opinion. And so I took the same I did the same that I've done for Photoshop, just getting into a sort of advanced tutorial and trying to pick up all the beginner stuff in that in just like a compressed form. So I would follow a advanced class so that I would not only learn the basic stuff, but I would immediately, just create something. Which didn't work. I gave up after like 20 minutes or so of trying to understand all the tools and all that stuff and all the shortcuts. And then at some point, like 1 or 2 years later, I tried it again, and then I actually, stuck with it. So, and then, what I did was I learned how to use the basics. I just watched a beginner tutorial, how to use how to navigate, how to set up your layout, how to extrude, how to move, how to rotate, how to scale. And then once you know that, you can basically begin sculpting or modeling whatever you want. The more you do it, the more you learn, because you want to learn new techniques, and the better you get. That's basically all that is there to it. Yeah. You would start with making circles, lines, and going to shapes and 3D objects perspective. I don't really remember how I started, like, actually just learning how to draw. Because I think I was pretty good at it from early on, maybe because I was doing it so much when I was younger. At some point, somebody just said, "Hey, I like your drawings that you do," or whatever. Or, you know, I just realized. No, I think somebody said, "You're better than me," or whatever. You know, you're pretty good. You should draw more. And then I kind of realized, well, you know, I kind of like drawing, so let me do that more. And then it kind of evolved into becoming one of my hobbies. You know, then it went from there. Drawing is a good skill to have. True. Drawing is always something you can just do, you know? You just need a pen, you just need a piece of paper, not even a piece of paper, you can do it anywhere, and then you can just do it. That's what I did for 2 or 3 quick sketches. When I wasn't at home, couldn't really, I don't have a tablet or like a, what is it? A laptop. So I just, you know, grabbed a pen, grabbed a piece of, what is it? A coffee filter, and just drew on it. Wish I took a like to some artistic skills early on. I don't think they're necessarily harder to develop. I think some people just, they seem to pick it up easier because they did it as a child more, or when they were younger. Then they left that sort of, you know, they left drawing behind, and then at some point they picked it up again, and they still remembered what they knew before. Similar to working out, you know, if you've worked out before, it's easier to get, you know, to gain muscles back again and to have good form, rather than when you start from scratch, basically. Having understanding of fundamentals is a good skill to have. I think the good part about artistic skills is, especially when like skills that where you create stuff, is once you kind of know one, you can sort of transfer the fundamentals of that skill to a different artistic skill as well. So like that's what I always think about. Like I talk about how you break down, how you try to start as simple as possible, and then you split it up into smaller pieces, more detail, until it's like a detailed piece. You can apply that to everything. You can do that for problems, if you want to solve problems, if you want to, I don't know, if you want to sculpt, if you want to draw, if you want to learn a new skill, if you want to, you know, do anything. You can always just break it down into, you know, you can start very broad, and then you can go into more detail to get better and better and better. Once you get to 24, 25 years, you kind of start learning stuff a little bit slower. Well, I can't really speak to that, so I just have to take your word for it, I guess. I guess Zachary could attest to that if that's true. The old man in here. I'm thinking about, how would we do this? Because there's this sort of ball in there, but the problem is we don't really have like a socket for it right now. We just have this sort of piece. We could change the geometry so that it actually supports the shape. Maybe we can do that. Yeah. It'll be annoying, but it's probably worth it. Okay, let's see, how can we do this? Oh, dude. I don't know why, but it seems to be the perfect time to take time off. I don't know. Today's just not a high energy day for me, and which makes it more exciting, I guess, so that, you know, to know that I only have to work one more day before I get 2 weeks off, and then you know, I can do whatever, I guess. and then also just having sort of so many quick, you know, projects that need to be done immediately is always annoying. So kind of getting getting away from those is always nice. I'm gonna probably place it a little bit higher. Old equals bad. I wouldn't say so. I would say old stuff is maybe more important than new stuff. When it comes, well, that's quite broad. What I mean is, you can learn a lot from old stuff. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to say just old people, but overall old stuff. And it's sort of something you might not really think about that often. Like, there's so much that like, why do you want tutorials for like Blender? Because people that already did it for a long time tell you how you can do it better yourself, so you don't do the same mistakes that they did. That's sort of how I think about not old people, but like everything that's sort of old. It can teach you stuff that you can then, like, it can teach you, or it can show you mistakes that happened that you can then avoid without having to do them yourself. Or just lessons, for example, that, you know, you can learn without having to, I guess, experience them yourself. Okay. Oh, okay. I mean, it works. Let's see. That looks pretty good, actually. Works quite well. It's not perfect, but we're not going for perfect, okay? Don't, we said it before, okay? We don't go for perfect. I think that's pretty good. It's good enough. It might be a little bit lopsided. Let's fix that real quick. There you go, that's better. Looks like a proper socket. Young equals closer to sperm. I mean, I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but I guess that's true. Okay. Let's add this one as well. So for this one, I don't really know what I want to do there, because so the thing is, we can't really see it here, but it looks like, it looks like the wood is ending before this part. It's no, I actually don't think so. Maybe what if we pull it out a little bit more here? So what we can do here is we can just do this. So we can have some more room here around this this gem, that we can socket it easier. So more space around it, basically. There you go. That's the endless dilemma that I'm in. Don't expose it, okay? I don't know what it is, but it's either that I say screw it. No, what always happens is I say, well, screw it. I don't want to go for that much detail, or I don't want to go to that length. But then there's something that tells me, you know what? Why not? And then I just do it, and I can't really stop myself from doing it. It's actually pretty annoying, because I could be so much faster doing whatever I want. But no, I have to do it this way. No other way. Wait, what? Oh. Okay. You know, it's always like a game. How much, you know, detail do you want to add? How much does it really affect the piece? Most of the time, you know, I kind of always like it when I see artists going like extra lengths to make something look even better. But then on the other hand, you kind of have to see how much time it takes to go that extra mile and whether or not it's actually worth it. Most of the time it might be not because it takes so long to do. Oh, it's time to drink. Stay hydrated. Time to take another sip from that holy water, aka water. That life, not infinite, but source of life right here. Okay. Okay. Let's figure this out. So this will be even more annoying. You can probably see why. Yeah. It's something, well, I kind of also did it for this one. Because I wanted to showcase the entire workflow. But it's definitely something I'll not like. It's annoying. I don't know. It's for one sort of like, I don't know if it's just like an excuse why I do it. One reason why I did it was just to kind of have the entire sort of workflow shown. I think I said that before, just so if somebody asks, hey, how did you do this? I just can show it, you know. I definitely would speed up the process for another sculpt. For another sort of character, for example, way more than what we've done for this one. I think there's a lot you can do to speed it up. Let me show you another trick. Hold on. That I'm going to show off in the brush explanation video. If you use the grab brush, there's a function. Right now there's a a subdivision modifier enabled. Everything is smooth. What you can do to see the original geometry is you can go to the brush settings, and then there's grab active vertex. You don't see it because it's a glitch for some reason. What you have to do is you have to select one of these transformation tools first. Maybe move, for example, and then you can see what doesn't happen. Because you have to, I think, switch back to the move tool. Hold on, there you go. Okay, apparently it just doesn't work anymore. Nice. Okay, well, maybe it just doesn't work at all. What should happen is you should see the original geometry highlighted when you hover with your cursor over the geometry. You would see these like lines, like a wireframe. I did it before, but it doesn't work anymore for some reason. Okay, well, well, okay, well, you have to believe me, I guess. Maybe it works for you. Yeah, but it's actually pretty cool. So you can, you know, if you have a lot of modifiers and they like apply to a certain object, you can still sculpt on it or change the geometry in sculpt mode without having to remove all the modifiers. You can just, you know, enable that setting and at least move it around with the move brush. I think that sort of thought that I have in my mind were that sort of I guess detail oriented mindset or whatever it comes from is when I look at other people's work, I always appreciate, or I always sort of look for small mistakes. I don't really necessarily look for them, but when I see them, I recognize them. See like, oh, well, he kind of, you know, he could have done more there or whatever. And then when I then do it myself, or when I sort of think about just speeding up, or just, you know, I guess, you know, just speeding up the process because I want to be quicker, I then just say to myself, well, you know, you criticized other people for doing it, and now you do it yourself. Like, you know, do you want to be a hypocrite, or do you want to spend some more time working on this 2 centimeter shoelace to make it more detailed? It's an internal struggle. It's a burden I have to live with. Okay, so it's time to add another piece. I think the best example for how you can speed up a process very effectively without maybe compromising on like visual quality is when you watch videos from Corridor Crew. What they like to do is they like to say, wait, hey, we want to make a we have a certain topic, maybe like, oh, what if, I don't know, Harry Potter would be like mature rated. I don't know what the letters for that. If it would be 18 plus, 18 plus, how would that look like? And then they would create like CGI and kind of recreate the scenes and make them look more like, add some blood to it, make it gory. And you know, they always have these small tricks that they use to speed up the process, how they create, for example, characters for their animation, or how they create the faces for their characters, or, you know, just in general, small techniques, or, you know, new techniques that they discovered to speed up the process, like head scanning or whatever it is. It's always something pretty clever, which doesn't really necessarily gives you or leaves you with a lesser quality, but it overall speeds up the process a lot, which is something that I definitely want to get better at. Kind of recognizing or looking for things to make your workflow faster. I think that's something that I definitely want to get better at. Because the faster you are, the more you can get done. Welcome. I'm sorry, I can't really read that. Hold on, can I copy it? Have a good stream. Hope you're doing cool things. I'm from Russia and I'm writing to you through a Google Translator. Where are you from? How old are you? I'm from Germany. Welcome. Welcome from... Hope you're doing well in Russia. Hope everything's been going well. Yeah, I'm from Germany. I'm 22 years old. And yeah, that's what I do here right now. 3D stuff. Hope you're doing well. Think we're welcome. Welcome to this small corner of the internet. I don't know where I heard that before. I definitely heard it from somewhere, but I can't remember where. Somebody said it before. Okay. Yeah, I definitely want to get better at finding ways to speed up my process. I think right now I don't do it enough, and I think I can do it way more. Exactly. That's exactly it. That's exactly what I said. So I don't know, maybe it's just like a skill that you can develop, I guess so. I think I did it more like back in the day when I was like 2 years ago or so. I think at some point I kind of lost that, especially at work, just because of like deadlines, and you just do whatever you know is the fastest, or well, you know and is the fastest, instead of looking for something that maybe speeds up the process, which could be even faster. You just do what you already know is good, and it's it kind of hinders maybe your progress in getting faster. And I definitely want to do it more again, just kind of trying to find ways to speed up the process without really, I guess, reducing or reducing the quality, I guess you could say. Okay. I have been using Blender for 2.5 years. So 2.5 years. I started in February of 2019, I think. And then first I started learning modeling, poly modeling, what you can see right now. And then I, at some point, went into sculpting, and that's what I like the most. That's my favorite thing to do in Blender. Sculpting. Right now, we're not doing that much sculpting, but hopefully, well, next week we're gonna go back to it. Next week we're gonna sculpt another character that we're gonna bring into the scene, which will be hopefully a lot of fun. I shouldn't have skipped English lessons. Hold on. Can I actually... Hold on. Hold on. I have been studying Blender since I have been using Blender since 2019. Okay, let's see if that works. Hold on. There you go. Straight from the translator. Okay. Oh, pulling out doesn't really work. Well, that's out of context. Yeah, so, what does it look like in here? I can't really see it, that's the problem. We don't really have good references. I said that before a lot of times, so... that's just how it is. I don't really know how this sort of piece right there works or where it goes. You don't really see it. It just kind of hides underneath this plate. So what we could do is we can just, I guess, bring it all the way over to here and then just let it go back to this part there. Maybe that could work, maybe. So we just work all the way back from here. There you go. Perfect. That should work. Google doesn't translate very well. Yeah, that's the problem. There were actually a few people that joined and asked or chatted using Google Translate. Google doesn't translate very well, but you're a handsome and pleasant boy. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate it. Good luck with everything. You too. Hope you enjoy at least the rest of your day. Maybe not, maybe even more than that. Everything. Hope you enjoy. Hope you have a good time. Okay, so let's fill this. I think that's a good shape. We don't really need to do more. The problem is maybe that that is going to clip through this piece, but that's not too bad, I think. Yeah, shouldn't be too bad. Let's just do that. Okay, let's fill this. So I think the easiest ones to connect would be this one, and then this one down here. This one is pretty simple. We can probably just do something like this. There you go. Okay, laying out the general geometry here. I can't really see it. Oh. So it actually goes further down. Like down here? Yeah, there you go. Okay. Might be cool to actually see it down here, but then, although we can't really show it down here because we have another plate that we need to add down there, so we can't go too deep. Probably just gonna leave it there. That's probably better. I'm gonna add one more here. There you go. Oh, perfect. Okay. It's also, I don't know why, but every time I do one of these long-term projects, at some point, you know, basically almost every day or maybe every second day, I have like a new idea, whether it is a new project, new character, or just like a, you know, content idea and like a video idea. And the longer the project, the more I don't, not really necessarily don't like, but the ideas just start to pile up, and then, you know, it just, you know, I can't really do anything else because I want to finish it, but then on the other hand, I want to do something else as well, and then you just kind of stuck. You know, you kind of have to decide what you want to do, and generally what I like to do is I don't really like starting projects and then not finishing them. So generally what I do is I just, you know, begin, you know, project, and then if it's a long project, I would rather end it instead of starting a new one. Some people I think are more the opposite, where they like to, you know, maybe they come back to a project later, but right now they want to do something else, you know, so they just work on something else for a while and then they come back to what they've done before. I actually more prefer to finish something before I begin something new. It's I don't know, because I always have like the feeling in my mind, or I always think to myself, well, what if we're not going to come back to it, you know? Might as well just finish it so you know that it's done and you don't have to think about it anymore. I don't know, it's just something it's weird. Another burden of my life. Yeah, it's weird. This is kind of weird. This is a very, very stretchy face. I don't really know if I like that. But we can probably keep it for now. We can maybe even... Nah, actually, no, I want to push it over here. I want to bring this edge around. Oh. Wait. There you go. Okay. That's better. No, let's do one more here. Yeah, I don't really like starting projects and then not finishing them. So it's always like, well, I wanna do big projects, but then on the other hand, once I do them, the longer they go, the less I wanna work on them, or the more I wanna do other stuff. And it's like the sort of, you know, endless struggle of, well, what do you want to do? There are like two worlds fighting inside me. One side wants to just, you know, continue working on it because I want to see the final result. The other one sort of just wants to be, wants to do something else. Like, hey, let's do something else. No, I want to work on this. Hey, let's do something else. No, I want to work on this. And it's like, you know, it's weird. But I choose to do it, so I won't complain. One might say those are world first world problems. Then I would agree. See, look at that. We solved one first world. Yeah, first world. No, yeah, first world problem. How we set up this geometry. I think that works quite well. It's not perfect, but I think it's okay. There you go. I think that's okay. What if we bring in a subdivision level here? Okay. So one thing we kind of... how do we do these bumps on the outside? These gold bumps. I guess we can just use bump maps. That's probably the easiest way to do it. We have one problem here. This n-gon looks kind of scuffed. I don't really know if we can fix it very easily, because it's in a very, very difficult spot. We could move it closer into the middle though. Let's try that. What we would have to do is probably merge these two. No. We would have to do something like this. There you go. And then we have another triangle here. Which we can merge here. Oh no. That's not good. No, that's even worse. Well, there's one thing we can do. Can we? Yeah, we could. Okay, let's do something else here. What if we remove this one here? Then we can merge these two. We can remove this edge and do it this way. This way we might have a sharp edge down here, but that's okay. I think that's better than what we had before. Oh, wow. Hold on. Do we just have to recalculate the inside and outside? Oh, we did. Okay. Well, I guess that works as well. Well, maybe we can at least do it that way now. I think that's still better topology than what we had before. Because the n-gon is in a different spot, which is probably better. In terms of the pinching, doesn't really... It's not really super obvious in that region. If you want to add n-gons, especially in animations, you always want to put them somewhere where there aren't really that many deformations, because n-gons are really bad with deformations. So for faces, for example, you would place them somewhere where they are, for example, on the cheekbones. That's generally where you have an n-gon on your face or on your forehead. There aren't really that big deformations on the forehead or the cheekbones, so you can place them there pretty easily without having to be concerned, I guess. That's sort of what you want to do for hard surface modeling as well. Usually n-gons give you very obvious pinch effects in, where they are. And so you don't want to place them, for example, on edges, because edges then look kind of weird. They look very pinched, they have these weird streaks going around them. You always want to try and minimize that effect by placing the n-gon somewhere else. One way to sort of mitigate that is create this sort of supporting edge, what I like to do. Just like an edge flow that goes and follows basically the contour. That way you can at least distance the n-gon from the edge a little bit. I think that's okay. Maybe we can move this out a little bit more here, just to give this a little bit more room, and then we're done. Perfect. I think that's pretty okay. Okay, I think I'm gonna do the bottom piece now. That shouldn't be too complex, so let's do that one now. We're just gonna grab everything and merge it together. No, we're gonna just remove everything except this vertex right there. There you go. Wait, what is that? Oh. What is that? Why is there another piece? Well, apparently I need to start over. It doesn't really work. There's something like a clone vertex just appeared out of nowhere. I remember coming back to Google Translate, my best friend in Spanish class. Well, back in 6th grade or so, we had the decision to either do Spanish, Latin, or French. So you either had, you had basically one option. You would either do Latin if you want to be like a doctor later. You would do French if you would, just, I don't know, if you go to French often or whatever. And then you would have the last option, which would be Spanish, if you would go to, Spanish countries or for a vacation, for example, often. So of course you can probably imagine me and my family, me and my parents going to Gran Canaria and Mallorca pretty often, or almost every year. You can probably imagine what I picked. It was probably still the best option out of all three, but it was still, it's like once you kind of lose interest in a topic in school, you basically lost. You basically, you know, if you don't spend enormous effort to come back to the level on which you're currently learning on, you basically can't really catch up anymore. So you either basically make up for the time that you've just wasted before, or you just always, you know, you're always bad. And you can probably imagine what I didn't do. Exactly. And yeah, so I just, you know, I never really learned to, well, I was pretty interested in the beginning, but then I quickly realized that I don't like languages that much. So I just quickly lost interest and just did whatever. Which at some point, you know, my parents wanted me to speak Spanish, at least sort of decent, so we can, I don't know, so I can have conversations when we're on vacation. And it was sort of, you know, I would take like extra classes afterwards, like what is they called, like help class or whatever, where you would go to after school, so you would, you know, have another like you know, so you would just go to that sort of, well, let me see what that's called. Oh, hello. It's tutoring, I guess, tutoring after school. That's what I did for like 1.5 years or so. And I think my end, like I would always like write like a 5 or 4 out of 6. 6 would be the worst grade, 1 to 6. And then, you know, at some point I actually started to become better. I think my peak was a 3. That was when I was like, yes, dude, yes. I did it. I recovered, I guess. My my teacher was actually pretty proud of me that I did it. And then very, very quickly I fell back down because, you know, if you kind of feel like you've reached your goal, you very quickly lose interest again. And that's sort of what happened to me. And also, I think that was the last year that I really needed to learn Spanish, because afterwards we would just we were able to vote it off of our like curriculum. We had to, I think, like remove 3 or 4 classes entirely for 12th and 11th class. So I kind of dragged myself through 10th, like all the way up to 10th grade, and then I could just, you know, vote it off. That's immediately what I did. And yeah, that's how I got through Spanish class without ever really knowing how to speak Spanish. I think at some point my parents also gave up. You know, at some point in like 8th, 9th grade or so, being, you know, having Spanish class since, what is it, like 6th grade, and still not being able to speak Spanish, it's probably kind of telling that there's not going to be, it's not going to get better. And so it's just like, you know, it's just kind of like a waiting game until I was able to just vote it off. So I think what I voted off was Spanish, physics, and what was the other one? It was chemistry. Chemistry. That's what I guess removed. And I'm very glad that I did, because those two I never understood. Those two were basically math, but math plus. So you not only needed to understand sort of the way the equation works, but you also had to explain why the equation works that way. In math, you sort of just have to know the formula and how you use it, not really why necessarily. Of course, it's good to know, but I don't think you really need it necessarily. But with these two, you basically needed to know why it is the way it is, which is, of course, bad if you don't understand it. So I suffered through chemistry up to 10th grade, and then I just zip, threw it out the window, never to be seen again. I remember I actually went to there was an event at school, like after school. There was an event where some parents went, or got to the school, and you could ask them questions. There was this room is for all the chemistry people. This one room is for more like sport, or this one's more for, I don't know, biological topics. All the parents that would have like a bio-chem job, for example, would be in one room, maybe even together sitting at one desk. And then you could, go to them and ask them, hey, what do you do? Maybe I want to do your job in the future. Maybe I want to steal your job. And, you could, learn a little more about what you could do in the future. And I remember me and one of my friends, we considered where we want to go to. I think I went to graphic design. I don't really remember if I actually did, if I was actually interested in that back in the day. But I went to a some sort of physics dudes that were doing something with physics, and I actually considered doing that later in the in my life. I think there was another one. I think back in the day, my thought was I liked to do presentations. Not really the moment before I do them, but when I do them, I feel kind of comfortable. So I kind of thought how you can, where you do that, in which job. But that really never got anywhere. And then, physics stuff, I thought hey, I could do some physics stuff. But then very quickly, I realized maybe I shouldn't do that. Doesn't really seem very interesting to me anymore. But what I actually think was pretty lucky for me was that I never really struggled in knowing what I want to do in the future. I think I pretty early on actually sort of realized what I want to do. I think a lot of people, even after we were done with school, with high school, didn't really know what they wanted to do, which I always sort of found weird first, but then I actually sort of not envied them, but the opposite. I sort of felt bad for them, because I don't know. It sort of has to do with, I think, self-reflection also. Kind of like, well, do you really not know what you like in like what you like to do? Maybe it's also they know what they want to do, but they know that their parents doesn't want them to do it, so they don't want to do it, maybe. But it's like it was a weird topic where you would just sit there like, hey, what do you want to do in the future? And then you're like, hey, I want to do this. And then you ask them, well, I don't really know what I want to do. And you're like, wait, what? How do you not know what you want to do? And then most of them just said, well, I think I'm just going to study, I guess to just study something. And then maybe at some point they realize what they want to do in the future. That's one thing that a few of my mates did now. They well, one of them decided to learn or to go study And then the other one just said, well, you know, if you do that, I'm just gonna join you. Not really. I don't know if he was very interested in it, but I think the main reason for it was that that the other one did it. And so it's like, well, why? If you just do it because he does it, isn't that kind of weird? You know, don't you want to do what you want to do in the future? It's kind of weird to me. But, you know, maybe that helps them discover themselves. I don't think you can't really, at least, you know, as long as you try to do stuff when you're younger, I don't really think you can do something wrong. I think as long as you try to find what you're looking for, I think you'll find whatever you want to do eventually. And at least, you know, if you don't, then at least you know what you don't want to do. That's also something, I guess, that helps. Or you just settle for something, I guess. But settling always is kind of, I guess, can feel kind of weird because you don't really feel fulfilled. And then you kind of live for the weekend, which is sort of probably the worst thing you can sort of do. We're living for the weekend, you know? Always, you know, on Monday's the worst day, and then the weekend is the only thing why you're even just, you know, working, I guess. The weekend is why you're working. Why you can, you know, even work because you know, oh, weekend is, you know, another weekend is coming up soon. I don't think that's something you should. I think if that's the case, that's something that you should try to get out of. But, you know, sometimes it's hard, so I don't really say you're dumb for being there in that spot. Some people just, you know, it's hard to find what you... I think I'm also pretty lucky in the sense that I think art is something quite obvious. So when you're looking for something, what you want to do in the future, I think if you're artistically sort of inclined, it's easier to find the job that suits you or that you like compared to when you, for example, like math. Like, well, you like math, so what do you want to do? Do you want to be a mathematician in the future? I mean, I guess that works, but you know, it's very broad and not really. I don't know. It's kind of weird. You don't really have a specific job necessarily that you can look forward to. I think if you're creative, you can, there are always well, if you like being creative, I think there are a lot of jobs that you can do that can feel fulfilling compared to other things that you could be inclined to. Like, I don't know, being able to, you like, I don't know, you like studying. Like, well, I like, you know, I like studying, but how do you make that a job? What's the job where you get money to study, you know? I don't really know if that exists. Maybe you could become a content creator and just share what you've learned. You know, just, you know, you learn all the topics all the time, then you can share it as a YouTube video. I can imagine that could be pretty popular, just like random topics. Like Vsauce, for example, sharing, you know, he always has questions that he wants to answer. And so he shares not only his thought process, but also the end result and kind of, you know, his knowledge that he gained from it. That could be something. But I don't really know if there's like a traditional job that you could do there. So I think I did an oopsie. You can see right there. No, that doesn't work. Well, maybe it does. Yeah, I think so. I think this plate is actually in front of this one. You can sort of see this gold line going up again. Let me actually see the image a little bit better. Hold on. So if I go to the camera and set it to 100%, I don't know. It kind of looks like it goes up again and then sort of goes underneath this plate to create another layer. But I don't really know if that's true. It would probably look better on this model. Because right now there's just like this weird gap here. And we can probably sort of make it look a little bit better by just adding a little bit more here. A little bit more geometry. So we can probably just add a little bit more, attach it here. Bring it all the way over here, and then we can end it right there. Bringing it back to this piece. Few weeks ago I had a lot of blue screens for some reason, random blue screens, or my PC would just shut down. And I was fearing what I had happened before, where it destroyed my entire PC because I ignored blue screens more and more and more. And then, you know, it was basically like the time frame got closer and closer and closer until the next blue frame came. So blue screen. So it was like you start the PC, blue screen. No, you start the PC, you work on something. Usually I worked on Blender, blue screen. Well, okay. I restart the PC, you work on it again, and then a little bit earlier, blue screen. You start again, a little bit earlier, blue screen. You start again, and then the time frame became closer and closer and closer until the PC wouldn't even boot up anymore. And that was the crucial point where everything broke. Where you, I don't know, you... So, you know, what happened then was that I tried to, yeah, Bizot, where, you know, what happened was that well, the PC didn't even boot up anymore. Then I tried to take the single backup that I had saved, Windows backup, which worked for a second, but then it did the same again. And then at some point I had nothing to go back on, so basically Windows was broken, it didn't really boot up anymore. So I had to, you know, repair it or get it repaired. And one of my, like, my dad knew somebody that can do it. There's like he also like put his PC together, his new one. So he said, hey, you can give it to him. You don't need to go to some sort of like, you know, chain or whatever. He can do it. And then I said, well, okay, you know. And then it took, I think, 2 to 3 months for it to get repaired. And the reason why, I don't really know the reason why. He said he's super busy all the time, and because that was just like a, you know, like a job he would do in his like sort of free time for a friend, it would be like low on his priority list. So I was sitting there for 2 to 3 months not being able to do anything. And he then, you know, gave me back the PC at some point with a new operating system, and you know, everything set up again. And yeah, then it worked. But, you know, 2 to 3 months without a PC, if you previously, you know, been playing games on a PC, you've been modeling using Blender, and then you can just do nothing of that. You can do what you've always done for fun. Nothing. You just sit there and just, you know, think about your life. It's been pretty annoying. And then the best part is, after he was done, after like a few weeks, maybe 1 or 2, the blue screens came back. And I was like, are you kidding me? Why? Why? What is happening now? And so I tried a few things. I looked up, I did some more research. And my idea was that it's a hardware related problem. A lot of people said, hey, it could be your RAM. It could be, you know, maybe your RAM is broken. So I went ahead and basically I had 2 installed, and I removed one of them. Didn't work. I removed the other one, and then hey, it worked. So you know, the RAM stick was broken. There was nothing wrong. Maybe there was something wrong with my, I guess, software, but the hardware was broken. And so, you know, I could have also just removed the RAM stick, and you know, that could have worked, but I didn't. And then I had to wait 3 months for it to come back to me. Yeah, and you know, just I never want to get into that position again. And you know, having these frequent blue screens, like a few weeks ago, was pretty scary. But they seem to be resolved now for some reason. I don't know why, but sometimes they just come and go. Like, it's like a PC sickness. You don't really do anything, you just ignore them, and at some point they just go away. Maybe Windows has some internal systems that just clean the PC while you're just working and you don't really realize it. Or, I don't know, they just resolve themselves for some reason, or how I don't know why or how, but you know, somehow it just got resolved. How are you with computer viruses? I'm personally not bothered by them. So I had a my dad bought a virus software, antivirus software for my PC and his a while back, but then it ran out recently, or last year, and I didn't really bother asking him again. And since then, I never really had another virus. And the good part is, even if the virus sort of completely, if it's not like the like raid boss virus, it's not gonna destroy your PC. So you can always, once I had like a virus that sort of flashed this image when you started your PC, hey, your PC has been compromised, or you know, your PC has been shut down. You have to pay us $50 so you can access your PC again, you know, signed by the state or whatever, or you know, and you know, trying to scam you into getting your money. And you couldn't really access your PC anymore until you, I guess, pay the money. But you know, I kind of knew that it was a virus, so what I did was we got a new antivirus software, and you know, we just had to install it. No, we only had to put the CD in the PC for it to read it and then clear the PC from the virus, which was pretty cool. Yeah, like a tech support scam pop-up, exactly. And you know, it just did its thing, and then it was clean again. Back in the day, I was, you know, scavenging I was scavenging the internet for the newest and hottest Minecraft mods. So I ran into some shady websites, I guess. I don't really do that anymore, so I don't really fear of getting a new virus. And so far, I haven't really gotten any. I think that was the only really one that sort of destroyed my PC. But you know, I don't really think people want to, I don't really think the professional virus creators want to make a virus that is obvious. I think they want to make one that is just hidden on your PC, and they want to, I don't know, get your data or whatever. I don't really think they want to make the virus obvious. Of course, maybe, you know, you could run into like a, you know, one of these scam viruses that wants your money. But I think those are pretty rare. If you want to make a virus, you want to make it pretty hidden. So that it actually, like, has a higher success rate. I also heard that the internal Windows antivirus software is pretty good. That just comes with Windows, like the Windows Defender. So, you know, so far I haven't had any problems, and I hope it stays that way. Okay, there you go. Let's finish this piece. I guess we can just copy the modifiers, or we can just add a solidify modifier. That should be all we need. Let's make it smooth. Okay. Solidify. There you go. Perfect. Okay. The next one is done. The layers start to stack up. Which one's the next one that we need? This one is basically done down here, this front part. We have a little bit more layering in the back here, especially in this region. This one needs to be filled by layers. So this one will be kind of complex. We can maybe do this one real quick. Yeah, this one's pretty simple. We can just grab this and then duplicate, separate by selection. There you go. This way. Oh, hello. You can have a new cap right there. Hi, I'm new to your channel. Do you do 3D modeling as a hobby or do you do it professionally? Sorry if the question is stupid. There are there's a very small amount of questions that are stupid. I do it as a hobby. I've done some 3D project, well, 1 or 2 projects commercially, I guess you could say, at work. But the main 3D work is just, I guess, for myself. Yeah, there's nothing, you know. All I've done ever is teach myself 3D and then do it at home as a hobby. And then at some point, you know, I was able to sneak it into one or two projects, but that's about it. At work, I mean. And those have been pretty tame, I guess you could say. So if you want to ask questions about, I don't know, a professional environment, I'm probably not the best source of information for that. Okay. Oh, first of all, of course, welcome. Completely forgot about that. Welcome. Hope you had a great day. Welcome to this stream. If you're looking for something, or if you have any questions, you can always ask me. Usually we don't really do that much poly modeling. What we do here right now, that's probably the most that I've done in ages. Usually what we like to do is sculpting, character modeling. We don't really do too much, you know, like this necessarily. I probably want to do more of this in the future, just to get better at it and get, you know, faster. And it, you know, hard surface modeling and sort of sculpting are like two worlds that sort of span different parts of 3D modeling. So once you know how to sculpt well, you can do one thing, and then once you know how to poly model well, you can do another thing, or you know, you can just model other things. I don't think you would really, you could probably do it, but it's probably way faster to model a motorbike rather than trying to sculpt it, you know. And so now that I kind of got pretty comfortable at sculpting, I would like to get, you know, get more into poly modeling from time to time, you know, just do one or two projects, maybe combining that with sculpting to make it a little bit more accessible, I guess. Or just because I like sculpting and I want to do it more. Combining the two. There you go. Yeah, I think poly modeling is like there's like a yin and yang. You have poly modeling and then you have sculpting. You either like one or you like the other more. You know, doesn't really mean that you don't like the other one, but you definitely like one more. And then there are the special people that like shading and procedural modeling. The ones that the ones you don't speak about. The wizards, basically, of modeling. I think like procedural modeling is sort of the most universal and yet the most unused skill. So like you can basically do anything with procedural modeling, whether it is with like shading, like using shaders to model, or using modifiers to create procedural models, or geometry nodes to do it. Basically the possibilities are endless. The problem is you also don't really get a sort of, it's still sort of niche, I think, because most of the time it's easier to just model instead of do it procedurally. It's like if you want to make a model that you need for multiple use cases, then procedural modeling could be faster, because then you can just reuse it and just change a few values and get a completely new sort of end result, or multiple end results in a short amount of time. But, you know, oftentimes you just want to make a quick, you know, product, and I don't think procedural modeling necessarily, except for when you really want to do exactly that. You know, is what you would do to model whatever you want to model. That's why so few people just do procedural modeling. I think it also has to do a lot with math, which I can probably imagine not a lot of artists like math. At least I don't. And so, you know, procedural modeling has a lot to do with math. And, you know, if you cringe when you hear the word math, then you can probably, you know, you probably don't want to do procedural modeling. Let me push this higher just a little bit. Just a little bit. I want to have some more space here. So we can add another layer underneath. There you go. Okay, so you can see here, it looks like this plate just goes all the way down here and then around the ball. That's what I want to kind of adapt here. Which means we need to change. Do we need to change it? No, we don't. We don't necessarily need to. We definitely need to go down here. Maybe like this. And then it goes up and then down. Behind the other piece. Okay. Weapon looking great. Getting there. Welcome back. T. Hope you enjoyed your Wednesday. Your Thursday, not Wednesday. Maybe you enjoyed some more of that delicious cake. Did you make it yourself? Or was it... Or did you make it or somebody else? I remember O Creador Sin Importancia sent me like a video of him and some of his, I guess, friends or mates cooking with a school chair. Looked very, very interesting, but it also looked, you know, was pretty clever. They basically used the sort of, what is that called? Like the pocket underneath your chair. Like there's like a grid underneath where you can put stuff in, so you can store stuff in there. No cake today? Oh no. Sounds like a sad day. I was actually craving cake today. So sometimes my mom likes to buy a what are they called? Let me see if I can if there's actually like a name for it. Hold on. Black Forest Ghetto. Hold on. Black Forest Ghetto. That's not it. Okay, hold on. Oh, maybe I'm looking for something else. Oh, it's this one. This one. I was craving this one today. Hold on. This one. Hope your days was good. Mine was pretty good. Pretty well. Work was kind of stressful, but now it's over. At least for today. I kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel. Not only because it's Friday tomorrow, but also because the projects end pretty soon. So this one is what she buys sometimes. She buys it not from a bakery or from a bakery basically, but she buys it as like this pre-packaged thing from the supermarket, which then means that it's sort of it's being cooled, and it's when we usually eat it, it's still cold, which makes it taste even better. I like cold chocolate a lot. I don't know why, but it always tastes better for some reason. And it has this more firm structure when you eat it, when it's still sort of cold or cool, which I like a lot. I like sort of firm cake more than this very, very creamy. Actually, no, that's not really true. But I like this one more firm. Look at that topping, exactly. It's a set recipe, but I add a few, a few things to make it better. I think that's what you said yesterday, right? You kind of like to experiment with it. Yeah, that's what I like as well. Yesterday we had another cake, mole cake, that I like as well. Well, this one was what I was craving, but we didn't have any, so we couldn't satisfy my needs. Cool cake always tastes amazing. Yeah, it's just something about it. Like these cool flakes just going down your, like, you know, I don't know, eating them. Same with just chocolate, having it, you know, putting it in the not freezer, but in the refrigerator before you eat it. Just kind of gives it this special flavor. Spices up the flavor. I'm not quite sure how this should end. I mean, we could put it all the way over here. We don't really see it anyway. Well, you know what? Here's another trick. If we don't see it anyway, we only need to fill this space. So why don't we do that? Warm chocolate doesn't sit right with me. Yeah. You know, there are these... well, I think warm chocolate is good if you eat it with like strawberries, for example. I think then it can be good, but I think I would still prefer cold chocolate. We have a chocolate factory near like where we live, and they actually have like a chocolate fountain. Not like a normal fountain, but like a volcano basically. Which actually spits chocolate, I think, or it just sort of flows down. It's actually pretty good. What happened there? Something horrible. Yeah, most desserts are best served cool. That's true. Let me see. Well, I mean, waffles and pancakes are pretty nice warm. I mean, they probably, you know, are the freshest when they're warm. That's probably why they're so good when they're warm, but pancakes and waffles are very, very nice when they're warm. I think I would prefer those. Yeah, when they're warm. Or you could also put, well, the best is probably having a warm waffle and then putting a ball of ice cream on top. So you have the mix between warm and cold, and then they mix not only in your mouth, but it sort of, you know, the waffle sort of soaks up the ice cream, and it sort of creates this sort of mix between the two, which is even better. Then you add like a few, I don't know, not strawberries. What are they called again? Some cherries to it, and then some warm cherries, and then you're set. What is going on here? Wait, why are those faces so weird? Doesn't make sense. What happened? Okay. Maybe it's just the way that I set them up. Apparently. Pancakes are best served warm. Having something cold on top makes it good as well. Yeah. Okay. No worries. I don't expect you to chat, so you know. I don't if I don't expect anything, I can't be mad about you. You don't have to apologize for not chatting. And also, YouTube chat is quite slow in general, so you know, it can always take a while until, I guess, replies about a certain topic even, I guess, just arrive, because you know, YouTube has a certain delay. I wanna change this one. I think this one can kind of flail out some more. Needs to be further out. So we'll just use the sharp fall off. Then we can make a nice wing right here. There you go. That's pretty cool. Yeah, perfect. Now I'm hungry. Yep. It was a mistake to talk about cake. Now I'm craving it even more. What I like to do is, so there's this box that you can buy in our like supermarket that has different, what I like to eat as sweets, I guess you could say, would be cookie, or not cookie, well, cookies as well, like chocolate chip cookies, but yeah, cookies, I guess, in general. There's this box with, I think, like 12 different variations of cookies. And dude, sometimes I would just grab that and just, you know, split it up into, so usually you have like 2 rows or 1 row, and then you have these selections in like separated from each other, and then you would have like three cookies from each, you know, from each sort of piece. So you can space it out over like 1 or 3 weeks, and every weekend you can just, you know, select a few and then you can, you know, enjoy them. I don't know why, but they taste really good. Especially there's this sort of dough roll. I don't really know how to describe it. That it's like it's just a roll of dough that it's just rolled together, basically. You know, like a roll like this, as if you would roll a pancake. I don't know what it is about it, but it just tastes super good. It's like sort of juicy. The dough is still sort of juicy in itself, and I don't know what it is, but it tastes really good. What I like to do with them is I basically, because it's rolled, I like to sort of unwrap it again. I eat the outer layer until I reach the end in the middle. Okay. Just a few more spots we need to cover. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this. And I'm going to use it for this small piece right there. I always loved multi-cookie boxes. Buying one package and getting multiple flavors is a blessing and cherish. Yeah. Haven't seen any around lately. It's a like a regular thing in our supermarket. You can just buy it whenever. They always have it. It's not like a special offer, which is pretty good. So if I ever, you know, crave one of them again, I can just get them. What I also actually like is because I don't really like eating a lot of sweet stuff necessarily. What I like to eat as a snack more would be like sort of tasteless like chips, like salted chips, for example, because those are basically the only ones without any like flavors. And then I would grab a like a dip with them, and then you can sort of, what I like to do is alternate between chips without and chips with, because I like the sort of texture of them, but I also like the sort of taste from the dip. And so I would just, you know, I would actually do the same with like with French fries. I would grab some, you know, if I would eat French fries, I would sometimes eat them with, I don't know, ketchup, and sometimes I would just eat them by themselves, because I like the sort of crunchiness that they have. And I like to, yeah, just alternate between eating them with sauce and eating them without sauce. And then the worst part is there's a restaurant near or in my city that sells purely like only sells I guess like French fry dishes. So they have like these different sauces and different, I don't know, dressings or different, yeah, different menus basically of French fries. Like, oh, French fries with jalapeno, or French fries with, I don't know, cheese, whatever. And what I always hate about those is that they drench all the, like they put the French fries like on the sort of you know, piece of like the bowl or whatever, the paper bowl, and then they put all the sauce on top so that everything is covered. So if you're not fast enough, all of the French fries are just drenched and wet and just super soft, which is so annoying because I love the crunchiness, and they just ruin it. If it's a regular thing, then I'm moving houses. Chips are an amazing snack. Yeah. Sadly, I don't enjoy it unless I'm perfectly in the mood. I don't really eat them that often, but you know, from time to time, I think they're pretty good. Wait, did I move it? I think I moved it. Oh, hold on. That's not the one that I wanted. Wait. Oh, okay. There you go. Good old align tool. Wait, how could it be in the middle, but then on one side it's perfectly like out? Oh. No. Wait, what? It's rotated? Oh, it's rotated. Why? But in which direction? How? Wait. What? Oh, I think I wasn't aligned in my view when I rotated, so it rotated randomly in a direction, which is super annoying. So I need to do this. How do I bring it? Oh, there it is. I guess 90. Oh, there you go. I guess. Perfect. There it is. Okay. We actually have a French fry place near here. While they don't have many sauces, they're amazing at spicing. Light spicing with an amazing taste. Yeah. So what I actually discovered is my mom bought some weird chips, some like off-brand chips that sort of revealed to me why chips are sort of so addicting. And I think the reason why that is because the spicing is so it's like a spice or like a taste shot basically. You get this very, very intense taste for like a second or so, and then it's gone again, and then you're like, whoa, what is that? That tasted super great. Like I wanna taste it again. And then you eat another one. Oh, that's amazing. I wanna taste it again. And then dip, dip, dip. And that's how you get addicted to chips, you know, just because you get this awesome taste in your mouth for like a second, and you can't really enjoy it for long enough. So you eat more. So you eat more and more and more and more and more. That's basically how I think it works. Wait, how does that work? That's not the medium. Oh, I know why. There you go. I remember, I think once I had like a super, super spicy, like weird chips that had like a lot of, no, they weren't even chips. I think they were like vegan chips or something, which had like just this very, very slight amount of spice on them. But when you ate them, it was like in your mouth, and then it was like a and then so it's like a millisecond of like intense taste, and then it's just completely gone again, and then you're left with this you know, boring, just, you know, chip. But for that just single second, you're sitting there and just being being shot by this awesome taste, and you want to eat more and more and more because it's so amazing. And I think that's sort of better about getting a dip with your chips, because then you can sort of you can regulate how much taste you want to have, and you can basically, yeah, control how much, you know, you want to have of that taste on your chip, which I think is just, you know, better, because then you well, I think self-regulation in that way, I think it's pretty good. I like it more than, you know, always just being like teased with a certain taste. And then also you can enjoy them without the taste, you know? You're not forced with going through the entire bag. Just, you know, having that one taste. You can also just enjoy the salt, for example. Never heard of someone having one chip and being satisfied. Yeah. It's always just like the, oh, I wanna try it again. I wanna try it again. You know, it's like gambling. Maybe next time. Maybe next time. Maybe next time. Maybe next time I can taste it more. Okay, so now we can actually either go to this plate here in the front, this one, or we could go to the one that goes around this ball. There's also another one that is above this one. You can see it here. There's the silhouette ends right there. So there's one more that goes above. Time to drink again. You know, water might not have taste, but at least it keeps you alive. Okay. So, should we... we could extend this one as well. Let's see, what does it look like? We could probably do that. That shouldn't be too hard. Actually, I think that would be even better. We can just do this to begin with. And then we can extend it. There you go. I'm not really a snack expert, but I know what I like, I guess. Oh, there was one snack that I liked a lot, which doesn't exist anymore. There was this Asia snack, or whatever you want to call it. This Asian snack bag, where you would have a mix between these sort of... So there's a nut in the middle. I think it's a peanut in the middle. And then you would have dough around it. And then you would have some sort of spice on it. So there are like red sort of balls. There are white balls. And I think there were green balls. And then you had something else as well. There were these sort of small pieces of... I don't know how to describe them. They're like pieces of bread, like crunchy bread with a piece of what is it called again? Seaweed, I guess. Seaweed around it. I don't know if there's... Oh, and then just some random chips, I guess, as well. Some off-brand chips that you never heard of before. One thing that I find underrated though is sweet and salty foods. My first experience was back in primary school. I was remember breaking down in tears of how good it was. Do you mean like a mix between like stuff that is both at the same time? Where you have like a... What was it? Sweet and salty? Yeah. I think there's even a way to make... Oh, yeah. I think if you eat bitter food, if you then... So what I heard is there's some sort of Indian spice or Indian herb that if you eat it, it is absolutely like super bitter. But then afterwards, once you got through that bitterness, if you eat something else, everything else you would eat would taste super sweet. I can't remember what it's called, but I heard about it. Let me see if I can find it. Water may not have taste, but I think it's one of my favorite drinks. Yeah, I don't really drink anything else, really. Sometimes, like a cold glass of, Coke can be good, but very infrequently. Super bitter Indian herb. Bitter plant that makes everything else sweet. Oh, there it is. Cincipalum dulcicum is a plant in the Sapotacea family known for its berry that when eaten causes sour food, such as lemons and limes, subsequently consumed to taste sweet. Okay. They look pretty boring. Look at them. They look pretty boring. Miracle fruit tablets. Okay. What do they taste like? The berry itself has a low sugar content and a mildly sweet tang. Oh, so it's actually sweet. Contains a whatever with some training. Okay. Hold on. When the fleshy part of the fruit is eaten, this molecule binds to the tongue's taste buds, causing sour food to taste sweet. At neutral pH, miraculin binds and blocks the receptors, but at low pH, resulting from ingestion of sour food, miraculin binds proteins and becomes able to activate the sweet receptors. Oh, resulting in the perception of sweet taste. 30 minutes. Oh my. That's crazy. Interesting. You learn something new every day. Yeah, I heard of a bitter herb before that makes everything taste sweet, but not a fruit. The fact that a fruit can change one's taste buds all of a sudden, yeah. There's the other another fruit that I think smells like awful, but tastes pretty sweet, pretty good. Also pretty weird. The Asian snack with the nuts. Do you mean coated peanuts with wasabi? Not just wasabi. I remember getting one with only wasabi, but there was another one with basically everything. Let me see if I can find them. Coated nuts. Asian snack. There it is. Oh, that's exactly what I mean. Where are you? I lost it. Hold on. There it is. Oh, it's rice. Hold on. Oh, they actually have a trailer. Hold on. Look at this. That's what I mean. So those are the seaweed sticks. See? This is like different sort of balls. They're not really balls necessarily, but they have like different flavors. Then you have these normal chips, you know, and these red balls, all with nuts in them. That tastes really, really good. And for some reason, they don't sell it anymore. At least not in the closest supermarket that we have here. They're really, really good. Here you can see them all. That's the one that I mean with the seaweed. Those are probably my favorite ones, these ones or these ones, just because if you put them in your mouth, you can feel this sort of dough sort of falling apart and then sort of opening up into your mouth and revealing the nut. Really, really good. Probably one of my favorite snacks. Very, very unfortunate that at least the closest supermarket doesn't sell them anymore. But, you know, you can also order them online, I guess, if you want. One snack that I actually recently discovered. I wanted to buy something for my dad as like a gift for his birthday. Was it birthday or Father's Day? One of the two. I think it was birthday. I wanted to gift him a... So he's somebody that you don't really know what you're supposed to like gift him, because he has nothing he wants, and if you give him something that you think he would like, he just doesn't use it. So what my mom kind of resorts to is just gifting him sort of tickets to some sort of show, for example, where they would go together too. But then I'm here, you know, I could do the same, but I would usually go for something that is like making his life easier. Like, I don't know. I think once he has like a lot of cards in his purse, in his portemonnaie. Is that like what you can say? Hold on. Portemonnaie, wallet, in his wallet. And I bought him a like card holder, so you can, you know, put all these cards into like this small little box instead of filling his wallet, which is like this thick with cards that he never uses. But then that didn't really work. He never really used it. He just kept them all in his wallet. So I this time decided to buy him a box of snacks, basically healthy snacks, like protein chips, which are made out of, I think, like rice or something with a little bit of spice on them. And another thing that was in there, what I bought was these. It was fruit paper, I think it was called. So it's basically dried fruit. I bought 3 bags so I can try it myself. So it's this one here. There you go. It doesn't really tell you much. Hold on. So it's this. It's basically dried fruit cut into small, I guess, pieces of paper. There you go. Can you see it? And then you can eat it. Who would have guessed? Yeah. Tastes pretty sweet. I like to eat maybe like 1 or 2 of them once in a while. You can just keep them in your mouth and they fall apart over time. Like, you can probably keep them in your mouth for like 5 minutes or so. You always have this nice sweet taste in your mouth. This one is apple and pineapple combined. I think the other 2 bags I bought for my dad were strawberry, and the other one some other berry. Oh no, apple, I think. Apple? Maybe apple. But they're pretty good. But they're pretty expensive compared to other snacks. I guess because of how they're made. They're pretty, you know, the manufacturing is quite expensive. But they're pretty good. So if you're looking for a new snack, a healthy snack, you can try that. My father's almost the same. It's generally impossible to tell what he could want or need for a gift. We decided to get him a fancy watch. Oh, my dad doesn't really... Well, he likes watches. He collects them. But he likes more retro stuff. Not really like a fancy watch. One thing that I can kind of, I guess, sort of always rely on would be he likes to cook on his grill. So that's one thing I could always look for. So I hit the jackpot with when I bought him new not grilling, it's not grilling, what is it called again? Like barbecue equipment, let's say. I hit the jackpot because he then decided to buy a new barbecue grill. And then, you know, you can always buy new, I don't know, new spices. One mistake I did was I bought him a book with very, very, very simple cooking or like cooking recipes for your barbecue grill. It's literally just an image of whatever you want to cook, and then 2 images or so, or 2 descriptions with like 1 sentence of how you do it. But he always just buys whatever he sees and likes in the store and just does that instead of doing something himself. I guess it's just more convenient. I've never even seen him look at it. Yeah, I'm not really somebody that wears watches either. I don't really, I would rather put, like, well, I like the aesthetics. Maybe at some point I'll get one, but right now I don't really use one. I would only wear them for aesthetics, not really because I need to know the time. I would just check my phone. So it's not really, you know, I don't really need it. I had a smartwatch pretty early on when they came out, but didn't really... It was like one of the earliest models, so they didn't really have that many functions, I guess. And I sort of discovered that I don't really need a smartwatch necessarily if I have a if I have a phone. Of course, now they can do way more, but still. Okay, there you go. Getting closer with every click. Yeah, I think I need to work on this some more over the weekend. But you know, now I have time to do that. So, yeah. Will not take too much longer to finish this. Okay, it looks kind of scuffed, the distribution, but it's okay. Dry fruit. I've never tried bananas. Dry bananas sound pretty awful, to be honest. I like dried apple. Oh no, bananas are actually pretty good. I like bananas. Bananas in general I like a lot. Because they're so sweet. They're like candy. I don't know why, but I like them a lot. I'm the only one really that eats bananas in my household. So every time they get brown, I'm always the one to blame because I don't eat enough. Yeah, you can see there's some stretching here just because the geometry isn't really perfect for sort of the shape that we're going for. But I could still improve it if I want to. You know? Right now, I think it's okay. We can see some waviness going on here. We can kind of smooth it out here. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Dried mango. Ooh. I have never really liked mango, like raw. Sometimes I like mango drinks, but usually that's because it is mixed with other fruits. I've never really tried like mango. Like, well, I've tried it, but I don't really like it that much. Okay. There you go. Okay, just a few more pieces left. So let's see if we can... so this one's probably the most complicated one because it kind of goes around this ball. It seems to be pretty big, to be honest. I think it's way bigger than it needs to be. Probably more like this size. It's probably better. Yeah. We need to adjust the whole thing now, which will be a pain. Fresh mango is better. Raisins. Raisins are pretty good. I don't... So... There's some fruits that I can eat. Like, that I can eat a lot of. But what I can't eat a lot of is... is dried... plums? Plums? Dried plums? Dried plums. Dude, if I eat those, I gotta head to the... I basically have to sit on... Like, I have to eat them in the restroom. So that I don't, you know, make a mistake, let's say. I always gotta be prepared. I can basically feel my stomach working. I can feel it working when I eat dried plums. That's why I don't do it that much. They're pretty good. They taste really good, but you know, it's always a gamble. So I like to, and I don't like gambling, so yeah. I would like to keep the set of pants that I have on right now, instead of enjoying some plums for a second. There's also this weird structure underneath, which I don't really understand. You can probably add that though with sculpting. You can see here, this sort of structure we could add over here as well. So this is probably not just like a plate on top. I think the only plate that is missing here is this one. It could be that there's like a socket where this sort of gem is in. Like it's socketed in. But it could also just be a plate that is holding it in place. It's very, very different in the actual in-game model, as you can see here. There isn't really any gem. There are no purple gems here. This one is white. I don't think there's any here. There isn't even a gem here. So it's a little bit different in-game. but I like this one more. So we're gonna go with that. Dry banana tastes like an old artificial gumdrop. I don't know, I like it. It's like, it's very powdery. It's very different to other dried fruits. It's very powdery. It basically loses all its water. And once you sort of, I guess, give it back some moisture by basically, you know, by eating it with your saliva, basically, you sort of it kind of reveals that sort of powdery feel in your mouth, which I can imagine sounds or feels or tastes pretty weird. But I like it. I only eat raisins when they are covered in chocolate. Oh, I actually haven't eaten covered fruits for a long time. I don't even know if you can buy those, probably, but I don't really shop that much. We don't really have a chocolate fountain, so I couldn't really do it myself either. Okay, I have 7 minutes left in my on my hard drive, and then the recording is has to stop. I think we're at a pretty good spot. I think I'm gonna finish this over the weekend, and then next week, what we're gonna work on, I'm gonna show you right now. Next week, we're gonna create this dude. So we will sculpt him, and then we will also add the cloak around him. And that's going to be the goal for next week. So I'm going to finish this weapon over the weekend. I'm going to put it into his hand right here. And then he's basically done. His weapon is done. And then the only thing that is missing when it comes to, I guess, the character and his company would be his partner. His partner in crime. The spirit. Shouldn't take too long because it's just basically just like a head, an upper body, and hands. And then, you know, we add it to the character. I'm not planning on rigging this dude. I'm probably just gonna place him and sculpt him posed. And then, you know, we have almost everything. Then we just need to add the sort of little bit of environment here at the bottom, and then that's it. So, yeah. If you want to see more, of course, tomorrow there's not gonna be a stream. Raisins covered by chocolate sounds amazing. Yeah, especially if they're cold. Then they're very good. Yeah, if you wanna wait, yeah, there will be no stream tomorrow, but on Monday there will be another stream. If you want to, I guess, have content from me or get more content, see more content from me, I also have a video channel. The link should be in the description. And then, of course, if you want to, I should upload a video tomorrow on Friday talking about my process, how I turn like a single image into a 3D model with my, like how I sculpt, how I basically create 3D recreations of concept art, for example, in Blender with sculpting. And then that's gonna come out tomorrow. And then on Monday we're gonna do another stream, of course. And if you want to know when the stream starts, you can either, of course, subscribe or you can join the Discord. The link should be in the YouTube description as well. Like for the subscription, hold on. It's too small. Ammo. I think it says camo EU2. Maybe. Hold on, let me see if Streamlabs can help me out here. Yeah, if you want to, know when the stream starts, you can subscribe. You can also join the Discord. The Discord link should be in the description. And yeah, thank you for joining. Oh yeah, and we're gonna do another personal feedback session on next Friday. So next Friday we will, in the Discord you can submit your own artworks, and then we will look at them on stream on next week's Friday. No, next week Thursday, and I'm gonna give personal feedback to each one of them. So if you're interested in that, or just ask questions or hang out with people in the community, I guess you can join, and you can do that. But yeah, thank you for joining, thank you for watching, thank you for listening or just being here, chatting of course as well. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Maybe I'll see you next time. Until then, take care.